Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today again we're doing another gameplay review from one of our viewers. It's coming from our man D Mark here from the community Discord here. He's gold and he's been doing a Clash game, so let's just see what he's got. Just off the start, you can see Sentinel Titan here, nice build, almost max intellect, max rezel and recovery, so really nice build. Dune Marchers, some extra movement. Is that a main ingredient? Is that what that fusion rifle is? And a Redrick, so solid loadout there. Solitude. This is definitely one of those harder maps to play on Clash because I feel like it's so big. It's hard to like get some real good momentum on a Clash map like this. So let's just see what happens here.
Put your enemies down before they do the same to you.
Where's that plug one? I don't know exactly what that fusion rifle is. I want to say main ingredient. Not quite sure. As fusion rifle after those close range angles, boom, just destroys Mexican taco right there at the fusion rifle. Boom. Wow, just maps with the fusion rifle again. So I'm already showing the value of the fusion rifle. Just I mean, you do what you gotta do, man. It's comp, so no hate for using the fusion rifle like that. Do what you gotta do. But just destroys two people off rip with the fusion rifle. Tries to save her try to save her team with the barricade, didn't quite work. Fusion rifle, another guy. Wow, you're good there for 3 so far with the fusion rifle. Ooh, almost had that kill. Get cleaned up. Not much you could have done right there, except maybe trade with the guy you were with a couple shots on. But other than that, I mean, you have all 3 of your teammates' kills. That was your first death, so not the worst start ever. But the fusion rifle you're using right now is really dominant on these closer quarter areas of the map. Just because, again, if you catch someone trying to use a primary against you, they have to hit their optimal TTK to really compete and kill you before you get that fusion blast off, especially if you're going for a pre-charge like you're doing right now. So you our fusion rifle out a lot. Again, you're kind of in the middle of the open. I know you're trying to pre-charge it. Let me replay that situation a little bit more. So walk in back here. There's a guy fighting your teammate outside. There's a guy right by the barricade, I presume? Or he's rotating over the barricade. So there's 2 pings, actually. They're stacked on top of each other. There's one guy fighting it here. And there's one guy wrapping around back to the tunnel where your teammate is. So in this situation, you're probably going to get shot from here. And you're about to fight this guy who's right behind the barricade. So you slide back, try to make some space, try to bait him out of the shield. Your teammate pushes him anyway into the shield, so he's going to get shot by both people, so he's most likely going to die. So really, your best course of action is just going to be trying to trade. Take a little bit of damage. Your teammate actually kills him, but then you kind of slide in the open. After your teammate gets his kill, you've already taken some damage. Your teammate isn't in like the biggest threat of being killed earlier, just because there isn't another guy who can push him and clean him up. He can just play this corner here, get his health back. You can play this wall here, get your health back, and then maybe potentially switching to your primary weapon so you're ready for a longer range engagement. Just because it seems like when you're fighting around this spot, your fusion rifle is you're not going to have quite enough range to reach all the way out here or all the way out here. So having your primary ready could have made a big difference there. If you slide and you get kind of beamed by the auto rifle was kind of just holding its ground there. But you guys are only down 1 though, so it's not the biggest deal.
The battle is still close.
Have a fusion rifle out, get another fusion rifle kill. Solid damage to the Redrix, helping your teammate there. Nice. Working your way towards the middle. Heavy's up in 10 seconds, so we should try to control Heavy. Your barricade's not quite up yet, so we got to play a little bit safer. Solid damage to their primary, pushing in, looks like. Good cleanup there. Good job getting to the cover, getting some health back before re-peeking. Good damage to help your teammate. If he hits 2 more GL shots, so he's going to have a little bit of time. Ooh, nice damage there. Got him pretty weak. Watch out when you potentially peek like this around when you're running through this tunnel. Be wary of, you don't have any pings on your radar yet, but if there's a ping like all the way back here or back here, they could be potentially sitting by the rock on this side, or they could be potentially spawning up here. So Just be wary when you're walking out here. You might get shot from multiple angles. Looks like you see the ping over here where your teammate's shooting, so you're looking for this guy. But again, there's a ping over here, so there's probably a guy by the rock, and maybe a guy behind you, so we don't know where the radar is quite yet. Nice kill right there. Good job getting back into cover. Like, good use of the shoulder charge. Teammate was peeked for a little bit too long. I like that you rezzed him. That was actually an example of a good res in Clash, just because it helps you guys stay grouped together. Teammate gets a trade. This guy all the way back there. Teammate reses him, and you guys can 3v1 him. Nice. So let's grab the special ammo, I guess. Probably what we should be doing. Nice. Cover fusion out. Ready? Boom. That guy is absolutely destroyed. Yeah, fusion rifles just dominate that, like, that sweet spot. Where it's kind of like you're too close for a lot of primaries to be challenging comfortably, and you're too far for like stuff like SMGs and like sidearms to really just blast you down. Your teammate gets a nice lightning surge, and you get some good damage there. Perfect. Oh, you're on a 10 kill streak. You're kind of cooking right now. I didn't realize the main ingredient you had was, or I don't know if it's exactly the main ingredient, but your fusion rifle has been putting in work this match. Good job disengaging, recognizing there's two people. Just playing your life, getting some more chip damage. Pulling your fusion out, looks like. And he's just blasted. Nice little scroll wheel. Catapult skate to get over to Heavy. Good job backing up to get play her off a little bit. Again, we do want to take our time, just because they do. You do want heavy control. This is kind of a risky push, just the one you made onto those 2 players. One, because you don't have really any special ammo, and then 2, because you recognize. So when the what's it called? The ping is really bright. It typically means that there's multiple players stacked on top of each other. That's why the ping you were challenging was super bright, because they're stacked on each other. So when you slide this, with no special ammo, and really just your primary weapon in like this kind of close quarters range, your pulse rifle, I mean, it is good in the close medium range because it does have really nice hip fire, the Redrix, but again, like if they have like sidearms, SMGs, any sort of special weapon, if they have a fusion, a shotgun, anything of the sort, then you're probably like in no man's land here. And they do happen to have a sidearm, so before you can get out, they kind of just blast you down, which is really unfortunate because now they can 2v1 your teammate who's turned around, and they are going to most likely get heavy control. Teammate gets a nice trade. Teammate gets another kill. It's not the only guy left as the one with heavy, so we should be taking our time here because he does have heavy ammo. Probably with killing tally as well. Wow, you fusion rifle the res, really nice. Your fusion rifle's been mapping people. But that guy still is heavy, so we should be a little bit cautious. Their super is about to come up, so we don't need to play super aggressively as well, since you guys do have a 9-point lead at this current moment. We should be letting the other team make the mistakes instead of pushing into them. Looks like you're about to super him. Nice super. Wow, really nice super, actually. So you get the axe. Potentially one of your teammates can pick it up. So let's see what you do with this axe here. There's one crouch on the bottom left. You're actually in it for 97. Clean him up with the pulse. One thing potentially right there. Let's just see you go out. So there was a ping it appeared for a second and then it dimmed right away. That's a guy who's crouching. When you're crouched, your radar, you don't appear as a radar ping very often. I believe it's like once every 5 seconds, then you appear for a second, and then you go away. So potentially you know that there's a guy waiting to challenge you from down here. There's a guy right below you on the elevation level right here. So it looks like you swing up to challenge him. And then be conscious of the fact that from where you're standing, you can be seen from players who are not going to be appearing on your radar. So like if they were all the way on your right, you probably wouldn't see them on the radar. And if they're all the way on your left, you probably wouldn't see them on the radar. So potentially, instead of walking forward so aggressively as you throw the axe, like you don't have to move from the stairs. You could probably just sit up top here. So you have a little bit of cover to work with. And because you have a pulse rifle, you can still shoot this this Ethan guy without exposing yourself so easily. And so that's what happened really, is that since you walked a little bit too far away from the stairs where you don't have cover on the left side, this guy is just like crouched in the back of the map with a Forerunner, and he can just kind of clean you up there. And that's what it was, right? As he kills you, you can kind of see he's like crouched right there, so he's not really visible on your radar, so you don't really have the information. So honestly, when you're pushing out like this in another situation, if this ever comes up again, just realize the area of the map you're in and where you're exposing yourself, just because, again, crouching is super, super strong because it takes you off your radar.
Strong start. Fight on.
And then he kind of works himself into a triple kill there. You guys only need 5 kills, though, so not the worst. Keeping your fusion out. Keeping it ready, recharging it. There's 2 players here, looks like. Fusion that guy. Your melee whiff's a little bit unfortunate, but you do get a trade in that 2v1, so not the worst situation. Realize the Spectral's there. Try to fusion him. Didn't quite work out. Let me see if you didn't quite have shoulder charge available. Potentially running away behind you. Maybe you could have gotten your shoulder charge in time to turn around and then suppress him, but actually not. He's way too close. So I think you did the right thing by trying to commit and do some damage to soften him up for your teammate, but it's obviously very, very difficult to deal with those Spectral Blades. So he's probably going to kill... Your teammate's probably going to wipe. Oh, that's a huge trade from your teammate, though, so... You guys still are up 5. They're going to have heavy ammo here in a second, so... Potentially you should be trying to play a little bit safer just because they do have grenade launchers in that corner. You're going to get... Maybe he's not flanking, actually. He's trying to go back inside, it looks like. Smoke grenade. I'm not sure exactly where we're going. We're really lucky to get that kill. Let me just kind of replay that situation again. I think you're probably just trying to run away from the heavy. That's what I'm guessing you're trying to do here. So you're running over the left. You saw right before you ran into the smoke, there's a radar ping. So know that when you're running over here like this, you see the radar ping again. No special ammo. Only a pulse rifle in this situation. So again, if they have like a shotgun, a sidearm, fusion rifle, potentially Gazettes or war that charges really fast, you're going to be in no man's land here, where really the only thing you can rely on is just like a lucky like double melee or just, I don't know, some insane primary shots. But looks like you just kind of jump on me and expecting to do that, so you were able to get the double melee off. As you get the trade, and then he kind of blows you up with heavy. So there's 1 shot left, it seems like. Teammate throws an Nova Bomb, gets 2, and that's game. $144 points, not too bad.
You've got some fight in you. Good.
3 KD. So again, like, I think a lot of people, if they like saw this video, like, oh, he's just fusion rifle spamming. He's just fusion rifle spamming. That's all he was really good for. But like, that's the thing with fusion rifles, is that they dominate such a large number of engagement ranges, distances, situations, that I felt like when I was watching your game, you didn't really have your fusion rifle out ever at like wrong times, right? Just because the fusion rifle can do so much at so many distances. So I think like, even though you got a lot of fusion rifle kills, it didn't feel like you ever had it out at the wrong time considering your loadout. I mean, some of your primary shots were a little bit shaky. It seems like your sense is kind of high just watching the gameplay. Just like when I noticed you're using your primary, like you were kind of jittery, so maybe potentially turning down your sensitivity would make it a little bit easier to shoot your primary, but that's just a suggestion coming from me, who typically likes lower sense. But if this is a sensitivity you're used to and want to commit to, that's perfectly fine. I would say some things you could work on is just kind of recognizing how you're viewed, trying to put yourself in the shoes of the enemy team when you see yourself in certain situations. A good situation I can try to think of, let me see. But there was one, again, where you were pushing outside. This is when you had like the axe. You were trying to push the guy outside and clean him up with the axe you made after your super. You throw the axe, and as you walk forward to clean up the kill, you put yourself in the open, putting yourself in danger of getting shot for the other side. So, again, I think just trying to be a little bit more aware of like certain areas of the map that are kind of hot spots and risky areas that you could potentially be angled out in. But a solid game from yourself, D's. You actually really put in some good work for your team. Again, I think you're committing to this like fusion rifle, pulse rifle play style. I think your weapon usage was on the money. I don't think you overused your fusion rifle, even though you got a lot of fusion rifle kills and you didn't like use your primary in the wrong spots either. It's just I think your primary shot was a little shaky, and then just some minor positioning errors as well. But thank you again, D's, for the submission here. And guys, again, if you would like your gameplay to be reviewed, I'll leave a link down in the description below to the community Discord where you guys can submit your own gameplays like this. But thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you guys next time.